Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're interviewing Austin about his 2010 5.3L Silverado LT as a part of our customer build interview series. Now, if you want to see more about Austin's build and his profile photos, along with other customer build profiles, you can head to our website to check them out, maybe get inspired about your future build. Now, before we talk to Austin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things Silverado. What do you say we have a chat with Austin? Hey Austin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me about your Silverado, man. Then you have a 2010 5.3L Silverado LT, and honestly, it looks like you have a lot to talk about, so I'm really excited to jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is one of the most touched on areas, and that's suspension, right? You've got the Supreme Suspension 3.5-inch leveling kit there. So in a category that's full of different sizes, different kinds of builds, how did you land on a 3.5-inch?
Well, originally 3.5, just like the biggest leveling kit you could go. I kind of went with that, but at the same time, I also wanted to add a leaf to the leaf pack. So instead of just leveling it out, I wanted to raise the rear and then level it out as well. And initially, the 3.5-inch is exactly what I wanted that would accomplish that.
And that looks like exactly what you did. You got the rough country forged upper control arms.
I mean, I do a fair share of off-roading with my pickup, not just like to off-road, but living kind of not a super remote area, but kind of off the path, and I do a ton of hunting with it. Definitely wanted those, as well as the diff drop, because like I said, four-wheel drive is really important.
And it looks like you picked up a couple of other accessories. You have the rough country premium N3 rear shocks. How has that changed ride quality, if at all, for you?
Pretty significantly. I'd say the main reason I wanted to get that is, like I mentioned already, my truck when I got it was pretty high mileage. It used to be a work truck, and the shocks were pretty worn out. I wanted to get those 0 to 3-inch lifted struts back there. With the spacer lift, I wanted to make sure I could fit 33s. That was another thing, 3.5-inch, so I wanted to get as much room under there as I could. And
you look like you took care of that too. You put on what I see as 33 by 12.5s. Is it a mud terrain, an all-terrain? What are you working with there?
So I got the 33 by 12.5s. So they're a little bit more aggressive than an all-terrain, but not quite a mud terrain.
And the 33s, did you have any problems fitting those in the wheel wells? I know 3.5 inches it's a pretty good amount of space for the front end.
Originally, I did the NorCal fender mod to it and trimmed a little bit of plastic and didn't rub. But as I added more weight to the front end with like things like a heavy-duty off-road bumper and that 9,500-pound winch, there's a little bit of sag in that front end, so it does still rub every once in a while when I'll hit a bump or if I'm in reverse, like at full lock.
So now your wheels, I have 18 by 9. You noted here you have a negative 12mm offset, which isn't necessarily the most aggressive offset. You know, the first thing I look for with aftermarket wheels is what's the poke look like? How much did that push out of the wheel well?
With the negative 12, I mean, I knew right off the bat they were going to be a pretty mild amount of offset, but actually with the 12.5-inch wheels, I was getting about 1.5 inches of poke, but 1.5 inches of poke came a ton of rock chips, so I threw some fender flares on there, and now it's pretty flush.
I mean, they're functional, but they look really, really good.
Those are the Bushwhacker smooth matte black fender flares.
Gotcha. You ever think about painting those?
I wanted them. I live on a dirt road, and like within a week of getting my wheels and tires on, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need them. So I just threw them on as quick as I can. Maybe in the future, I'll get them paint matched, but as of right now, they're gonna stay for a while.
Now, aside from the suspension, which it looks really good, your truck has a great stance, really nice wheels and tires. Offset was a good choice, matched perfectly with fender flares. That bumper on the front end, obviously being a winch bumper, it has that overrider hoop at the top. You have some lighting on the front end too. I'm assuming that's also coming in handy when you're going hunting or wherever you're going off-road. Now, speaking of the topic of exterior mods, you have a tonneau cover, looks like Truxedo. Can you tell me a little bit about your design on your tonneau cover?
Yeah, so it's just a roll up, so I wanted it to be able to roll up but still be able to see out my back window. Sometimes we'll go hunting and have it filled up with stuff, and you need to be able to check back there all the time to make sure nothing's falling out. And if you got that trifold kind of covering up 2/3 of your back window, you can't really do that.
Guys, keep in mind that if you're watching on YouTube, you can head to the link below to check out Austin's pictures and follow along with this build. You have a ton of work under the hood that I just genuinely did not expect. You have one of the, dare I say, more built Silverados under the hood. Can you talk me through a little bit about what you have going on there in terms of the power mods?
Yeah, so right off the bat, shortly after I got the truck, of course, I started out with the Spectre cold air intake that you guys sell. Initially, I really noticed just throttle response. as far as acceleration or anything like that, didn't really change a whole bunch, but it was the pedal was a lot more touchy, you know, and it would speed up pretty quick off the right off the stop sign or whatever, and it definitely made a difference.
And just to run through some of the stuff you have there, you have a stage 2 camshaft, you have ported heads, LS6 valve springs, hardened push rod, and you have a tune on there.
That generation is kind of known for oil consumption issues and other issues tied in with placement on demand and stuff like that. But I decided to do a DoD delete kit, and then I got into that and kind of rolled downhill from that. It was a bigger cam, you know, VVT delete involved with that bigger cam. It's pretty much all rebuilt top end, and it runs great.
Nice. And then finally, exhaust. You're making a little bit more noise, nothing too crazy. Flowmaster 40 series muffler. The 40 series isn't necessarily the quietest of the Flowmaster series, not really the loudest either, kind of the middle of the road option. How do you like that muffler so far?
I actually bought it like that, and somebody had already put the Flowmaster 40 on it. It sounds good. Definitely can hear the lope with it quite a bit from that cam. And in the future, I'm definitely going to do some long tube headers and 3-inch pipe all the way back. But as far as muffler, I'm not really quite sure yet. I might just go with like a pass-through MBRP or maybe a MagnaFlow. Still don't want to be super loud just because, like I said, I take it hunting all the time. So
yeah, really cool. Between the cam, hearing it lope with the long tubes, dude, that'd be super aggressive. Now, let's talk aspirations. You know, we talked about all the mods you have. Let's talk about the mods you don't have. What do you think you want to do to this thing in the future, besides the long tubes for the exhaust?
Probably the next thing I'm going to do is some serious rust removal and undercoating. And then probably after that, maybe a lift kit in the future. I'd like a coilover lift.
Going big, we going smaller? What are you thinking?
Probably just 6-inch coilover, because I kind of like something adjustable. That way I can compensate and adjust for that added weight in the front. So it is level, because it was level, and then when I added all that weight, it was not.
That's awesome, man. It's nice to know that you have a nice build currently, but you're still looking to aspire to grow that build, man. It sounds great. All right, Austin, thanks so much, man. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Adam.
All right, take care. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up this interview with Austin and his 2010 5.3L Silverado LT. And as you saw, he's got a ton of power mods, really tasteful suspension mods, some nice wheels and tires, and more. Now, if you want to see more about Austin's vehicle and his photos, along with other customers like his, head over to the website or click the link below if you're watching on YouTube. You can check out all of the pictures there and hopefully get inspired about a future build for yourself. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things Silverado, and keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.